Well, we always want to make sure that we have a sort of a balance within the season, particularly between always making sure we have at least one canonical masterpiece that's part of our long-range heritage. As a Western choral institution, we have a huge canon of masterpieces, and we want to make sure that they're still heard and they're still experienced by audiences today. So there's always that element of it. I also have a very important desire to make sure that we are always doing as much new music as possible, whether or not it's a world premiere, a U.S. premiere, a East Coast premiere, a New York premiere, a premiere of some kind, to bring new work to our audiences. And so that's a huge priority as well. So I started out this season balancing out actually the two Carnegie concerts first, because I had made a decision to do the Bach B minor Mass, which was our major masterpiece, canonical masterpiece. And then I was also really interested in doing the East Coast premiere of Frank Ticheli's Third Symphony, subtitled The Shore, which was commissioned by Pacific Chorale and John Alexander, who's a colleague of mine at Chorus America, and who suggested the work to me strongly, very much. He wanted an East Coast performance of it. Had been talking to several colleagues about different geographic locations around the country to disseminate the piece, so to speak. And John had already made his own commercial recording of the piece, but was seeking to make sure that the piece got more performances. So he urged me to take a look at it. I looked at it, I fell in love with it, I thought this was great, and the idea that it would be an East Coast premiere was also something very attractive. So I decided to build the second program around Frank's work. The question then became what to do with it. And since it is a piece that has a water theme, if you will, that opened up some interesting possibilities, because there's actually an awful lot of music written about water, oceans, and I think the idea of exploring that repertory became a great driver of the programming for that concert. So I looked at a lot of program possibilities and discarded many great pieces for a variety of reasons. Either the orchestration didn't fit, or the timing didn't fit, they were too long, they were too short, and finally struck upon the idea, because we also wanted to have a soloist. We have a strong commitment to really working with young soloists at the really the jumping off point of their careers, their major careers. And we've developed great relationships thus far. And I thought, well, this is an opportunity for us to have a soloist on this program. The Ticheli has one very small little solo thing at the very end of the last movement for a baritone soloist. And I thought, oh, well, it seems kind of silly to have a baritone soloist to just come in to sing 11 bars of music and that's going to be it. And so I thought, well, what can I find that would be baritone with chorus and orchestra that would fit the orchestrations? And after a long period of searching, I came up with the idea of doing the Stanford Songs of the Fleet, which is the second setting he made of sea poems of Henry Newbold. The first one was for male chorus, orchestra, and baritone solo. And then shortly, it was such a huge success that it was commissioned by the, I think it was either the Birmingham Festival or Three Choirs Festival, one of the big English choral festivals, to create a mixed chorus version of it, which I thought, oh, that's perfect. So we'll be able to combine the baritone soloists with the mixed chorus, full orchestra, etc. And that became kind of the sort of the two bookends of the program. It's almost enough music, and so then I sort of was like, well, now what do I do? Now I need something else that's a little bit on the short side, and ultimately came to the conclusion that we would just simply do an orchestral overture. And so I chose the Hebrides Overture of Mendelssohn, which has great ocean storms and lots of references to water and the ocean, etc. And so those two programs came together in that way.